Really bitch.
Hey, fellow disasters. Welcome back to another episode of Really Bitch. I'm Wombat.
And I'm Gnomi.
And this episode, we're going to be talking about queerness.
Being queer.
The gay agenda. Wait, what was that thing you said? The LGBTQIA
Alphabet
mafia? No, the alphabet mafia.
Alphabet mafia, yeah. Like, because I see it a lot online. So I don't know if it's meant to be a reclaiming of an insult.
I think it is.
Because I think that sounds badass.
Yeah, I think it is. I've seen like loads of like queer TikTokers use it in their videos. So
Fair enough. I'm down for it. It makes me look cool anyway, so.
yeah. And yeah, I guess for context, I'm bisexual.
And I'm pansexual.
And we're just going to be talking about being gay, our experiences, and most importantly, our very anticlimactic coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to take this on first? Do you want to go? Because I think ours were very similar, especially when we came out to our friends, right?
Yeah, obviously the first people I came out to anyway were my friends, my inner circle. And I officially came out when I was 18, right? So this is, well, for me, it was a bit late in the game. I kind of always knew, but I officially made an announcement at 18 years old. And I told my friends, guys, just want to let you know I'm bisexual, because that's how I first came out. I identified as bi. And all of my friends looked at me and said, yeah, we know. Okay, that's nice. I mean, I'm glad you got the memo, because
I didn't. But like, wait, I could have sworn out I could have sworn you came out earlier, no? Like,
well, that was like an official, like, me coming out.
Oh, like the official, like, guys.
Yeah.
It's here. It's branded.
Here. It's here. It's queer. You know.
Yeah.
But
and it's filled with fear.
Every day. But yeah, because before that, everyone knew that, like, oh, I find men attractive, but I also find women attractive. So that wasn't anything new. But obviously, I then found a word for it. And then I officially came out and I was like, oh my God, guys, I found myself. This is me now. And
this
everyone...
is real. This is me. Yeah.
But yeah, then everyone just looked at me and went, yeah, it's been like this for a few years. I don't know why. Like, what's the difference now? Like, okay,
yeah.
thanks.
What's new? What's fresh?
What's new? What's fresh? Nothing, apparently. Not with me. But yeah, it was very, very anticlimactic, but you know what? It's what I needed at the time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad it wasn't like a big... I'm glad it wasn't like a huge deal. It was just, oh yeah, we know. We've known for years. It doesn't really change anything or mean anything in terms of like our friendship. I was like, cool. That's what I want.
That's what I wanted
that's
to
what
hear.
I want to hear.
Yeah. I would say I came out, I don't know, I felt like maybe 15, 16. When I came out to my like best friend at the time. And I was like,
did you only come out to one person?
Well, I came out to her and then it sort of just trickled. And
okay, yeah.
I was kind of like, it was like I officially came out to her and then I would just talk to myself as if talked about myself as if everyone else knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, because, you know, I like girls. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, okay, so moving on.
Like, just slipping it in there.
Not leaving any room for follow-up questions, you know? I'm like, no. None of that. But yeah, I remember like in my head, I was building it up to be this massive thing. And then I went up to my friend and I was like, I think I might be bisexual. And she was, exactly the same as your friends. It's just kind of like, yeah, I kind of guessed it. I mean, the way you talk about Nicole Scherzinger is kind of gay. And I was like, Oh, why you gotta call me out like this? Like,
I just know I did very gay things. So we used to have blazers as part of our uniform, and our blazer had a breast pocket on the outside. But yeah, one day I was flicking through a magazine during break, and I saw this very beautiful woman modeling, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna rip this out.
She is my wife.
It wasn't, I don't want to say she was my wife, but I did rip out that page, fold it up very, very neatly, and put it in my pocket, and I carried that around for probably like a solid year.
Bro, why is this a gay thing though? Because okay, so I did that. Every month we would get sent this like shitty catalogue, right? For some like unknown brand, I don't know. And without fail, I will always be flicking through it for this one model. And I don't know what it was. I was obsessed with her, and I had my own storyline for her all mapped out. No surprise, I made her like this villainess in my little like made up story thing.
Oh yes, like Shigo.
Another gay icon. And I was obsessed. But then I have a friend who's also bisexual, and she was like, yeah, I used to carry around a picture of Catherine Zeta-Jones from when she was in Zorro.
That's so specific.
Yeah, it's like having clippings of older women and then just like carrying them around.
I have no idea, because I didn't even know this woman's name. I just carried around this picture because I just thought she was absolutely stunning. Like one time we had religious studies, and the teacher was basically like, talking about idols, icons, that kind of thing. You know, at the end of the day, God should be your icon, whatever that means. And I was like, I don't think I put like any celebrity on a pedestal. Like, and my friend turned to me and said, don't you carry a magazine picture of a model in your pocket with you every day? And I was just looking at her like she killed me.
It's like, oh, you got me there.
You got me there.
Got me there.
Yeah, that was yeah, I really had to look at myself that day.
Oh man. I mean, okay, let's go back a little bit, because what might be interesting, if they haven't figured it out already, that we went to the same high school. It was a Catholic all-girls high school.
Oh, wait. What was the reason your parents chose to put you in that school? Go on.
So my parents essentially thought it would straighten me out, you know, and so I wouldn't get with any boys.
And you'd focus on your studies, right?
Yeah. Little did they know that whilst I was there, I started to think about the poussée. Like, everyone be talking about God, and I'm just like, vagine.
Vagine. Honestly, like one time, so this was, you know, after we finished school and stuff. I must have been at uni, but I came home from holiday, like for holidays. At this time, I had a girlfriend, and I remember being in the car with my mum. She was just like, I just don't get it. Like, you know, how did you, kind of asking how I turned out like this? Like, when did it happen? When did the gay come upon me? And I looked at her and I just went, who put me in an all-girls school?
But I mean, it's so like, yeah, we went to the same school, and I guess there are two main expectations from you if you go to an all-girls Catholic school, especially. Either you become super sexually active to the point of no control.
Because you're deprived.
Yeah. Because you're so deprived of men, you're like, you just go ape shit, you know, absolutely like ravenous, or you're a lesbian.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's it. But the thing is, weirdly, despite the fact that we went to quite a restrictive school in that sense, both of our coming outs were relatively easy. Like, the people we were surrounded by were very open, very...
Yeah, definitely.
There was no, like, I had this whole thing envisioned in my head. And when I told my friend, it was literally just like a 5-minute conversation. And she was like, all right then, have you done the maths homework for next period? And I'm just there like,
Did you just not hear what I said? No, it's really funny because, yeah, like, my friends, obviously my friends, I'm still really good mates with them to this day. We've known each other for like 10 plus years kind of thing. And, you know, they're religious. They have their own faiths and stuff. And you'd think, you know, ooh, maybe don't say anything to them. But honestly, it was fine. Obviously, we already knew each other. We were already really good friends. I mean, we still are really good friends to this day, and nothing's changed, so...
But it's, like, interesting, though, because, like, I think the first time I heard about lesbians was at our school.
In high school?
Yeah, because I remember in year 7, and there were 2 girls who were apparently in the bathroom, and there were these rumors going around that, oh my God, did you hear about the lesbians in the bathroom and they were having sex? And I was just there like so scandalized. Like, what? Lesbians in the school? Like, completely like, what? Because I didn't know what it was really.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
You're just a child.
I was a baby. A baby gay. But then, yeah, like very quickly I kind of, I don't know, there were just things that stood out to me that I was like, yeah, you gay, my friend. Like,
yeah, I don't think I ever, well, did you ever deny it to yourself?
I don't know, like when people would flat out ask me, oh, are you a lesbian? I would freak. But then like that very quickly sort of, I got over that. And I don't know why, it just, maybe it was the people I was with or whatever. Like, I think, well, I was very lucky in the sense that I was surrounded by such a supportive network and I had such an easy coming out experience. So I was really lucky and really blessed to have that because...
Yeah, same.
And I don't know if it is because we grew up in London, but also the school was in a very diverse area. I don't know. Yeah. But I have a friend who is bisexual and she was telling me about her coming out experience and how it was just so rough. Like, she grew up in a very rural part of England and
yeah, you're definitely going to stick out.
Yeah, and you know, people there were just horrible in general. And I mean, kids can be mean. Kids are just complete assholes.
Oh, biggest bullies around. Biggest
bullies, man. Still to this day, man, kids can make me feel like shit, and I'm 24. But yeah, I mean, she used to tell me these like horror stories, and I was just completely like blown away because that was worlds away from what I experienced, and I was so lucky.
Yeah,
right? Like,
completely different. So when I first heard of lesbian was actually in primary school. I was an even younger baby.
I was a fetus.
I remember, basically. And I just remember in my last year when everyone started getting their acceptance letters for high school and we were opening them all up together. And I said, oh, I'm going to this school. And all of the boys just turned to me and were like, oh my God, you're going to turn into a lesbian. And I just remember sitting there like, but I'm not though. Like, okay, as much as I joke about being gay or whatever, I know that I'm not straight and I'm not gay. I'm just not. I remember once in primary school, this is how I knew I was always queer from a young age. In primary school, and one day I just asked myself in my head, I was like, am I straight? I was like, nope. Straight away, that answer
so
got shot down.
I didn't even, that question of like, that didn't even occur to me. Like, that wasn't even a thing for me. For me, there were so many signs when I was younger that I feel like I should have known, but it took me a very long time to kind of come to that awareness, right? Because even when I did come out, there were situations where I felt a very certain way, and then only years later I was like, oh, that was such a gay thing. That was a gay thing. Like, why didn't I clock that that's why I was feeling like that, right?
Do you know what's really funny, though? I just don't get how my parents, your parents, I don't think even thought about it either, but how, like, I look back at stuff I did and I just think, how did they not think I was fucking queer? Because to me, or obviously to us, it's really blatant, like, you know, gay panic, queer, like, doing things because
you're gay.
You know,
You're like a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
And you can't function.
Oh, God.
Like, I don't know. Okay, so for instance, right? But I used to do ballet when I was a little tweeny baby. And there was just this girl that also was in the same class as me, and we were like very close, like almost instantaneously we were very close. And then
how old were you?
Oh God, like must have been like 11.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, younger even. I would have been in primary school.
Okay, so primary school. So we start high school when we're what, 11, 12?
Yeah, so maybe like the year leading up to high school.
Okay.
So like 10,
so
11.
Like 10, let's say 10.
Yeah. And I remember just being like, I don't know, I was just like, I really like being her friend.
We just hang out so well.
We're so alike. Like, I don't know what, we're so close. We're so close. Yeah. One time she was like, we were in ballet and we were like warming up or whatever. And she was like, hey, I got this for you. I picked these for you. And she pulled out of her pocket this like little bunch of like wild berries. And I was just there like, wow, this is like the best gift anyone has ever given me.
That is the single most gayest thing I have ever heard.
I remember going home and being like to my mom, I was like, look what she got me. And then my mom was like, throw that in the bin. You don't know where she picked those from. And I was so sad. I was like, no, it's my special present. And
it's
then
my
eventually,
special gift.
Yeah. And then when we both started high school, we just saw less and less of each other. I kind of slowly started to stop doing ballet as much. I think she was kind of the same. And then I remember that,
you know, you grow apart. It happens when you get older.
Yeah. And then I remember the last time I saw her was like it was a school thing. And I think her school was there as well as my school. And I was kind of like, hey. And she kind of like looked at me and was like, hey. And then was back to her friends or whatever. And I literally felt like
you got sucker punched metaphorically.
Literally right in the cunt. Like it was so hard, man. But I should have known then. Like that was so, like, as you said, I mean the whole wild berries thing, that's fucking cottagecore to the 100, my guy.
Literally. I don't know why. It's so funny seeing like 10 years down the line, like how much we've changed and stuff. But even, and when we do look back on our queer baby years, it's so funny. We just did the stupidest shit.
I mean, okay, what is a question that you hate being asked about your sexuality?
So an experience springs to mind.
Tell me.
Tell me. So after I came out as bisexual, I was like, I discovered pansexuality and I was like, no, this is the label for me. I completely get it, whatever. So
you resonated with it.
Yeah. For a really long time, that's how I identify myself, whatever. But when straight men hit on me, just say if I'm passing in the street, going somewhere, you know, guys come up to you sometimes. I remember one time, so at uni, I was dating woman at the time. It was my first proper like same-sex relationship, going great, whatever. And this was during the uni holiday, so I was at home, and I remember I was walking to the station after just being dropped off by probably my dad, like the street right close by. And I'm walking down straight to the station because I'm going to go meet up some friends. Cool. Halfway to the tube, this guy stops me and he's like, you know, doing his thing, trying to chat me up. And I'm like, this is really nice, but no, thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you. I really appreciate it, but thank you. Okay, no.
Would you look at the time?
Yeah. Would you look at the time? I have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
And obviously, this isn't someone I know. I'm not going to be a dick for no reason.
You're not trying to aggravate them, right?
Exactly.
You don't wanna, yeah.
So I'm being super, super nice. And, you know, he asked, oh, like, can I have your number? And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, but I actually have a girlfriend. If you are a queer woman, will know. The next question out of his mouth was, oh, can I join? Are you open to threesomes? And number one...
Did I invite you? Was the invitation even there from the beginning?
Thank you. Number two, you don't even know my girlfriend's name. For all you know, she could be fucking gay. She's not into dick.
Right? Oh my God. No, I feel that.
Like, who asked about your opinion? Because my relationship... Also, okay, no, this is... Okay. Why do straight people assume that queer people are non-monogamous or some sort of sex fiend?
Especially, I think if you're like bi or you're pan or you know
that's definitely
you're using more of
you're promiscuous.
Yeah, if you use like an umbrella term, like you're queer, you know, you're not settled in as 100% gay or lesbian or whatever, right?
Well, if you don't like labels, fair enough.
And so people just assume, oh, okay, you're bendy Wendy. Come on, let's have a go.
Fuck off.
And it's like, no.
Oh, who invited you? Because you can't just go up to someone. Okay. Have I ever gone up to a gay couple and said, oh, wow, can I join?
This is the thing.
Have I gone up to a man?
Not to insinuate that gay men don't get fetishized, because my God, they do.
Oh,
they do.
They definitely do.
But in a very different way and in a different context. But they're like
more
gay
like
men,
seen as an accessory.
Yes. And also, you know, it's queer men being fetishized as part of fandom and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, that's a whole other conversation. But my beef is straight women would never go up, or at least in my experience or what I've seen, would never go up to a queer male couple, a gay male couple, and be like, ooh, can I join? And just have that sheer entitlement, you know, that straight men seem to have.
It is the straight audacity.
I remember, right? So I was at uni and there was a girl. We hooked up for the night, whatever.
Oh, every beautiful love story.
And you know, it was like a uni thing, and we went out. We all went together, but obviously me and her were like, you know. And I remember we went to the bar. We were ordering some drinks. We were making out, and I just felt this breath on the back of my neck, right? And I just knew, I felt the straight presence behind me. And I turned around and I see this sweaty, like, bloke who's like proper laddie, you know. Oh my God, can I join you both? Can we have a threesome? And I was like, oh my God, you clearly just want to tick something off of your list, right? So you can brag about it to your friends. And I was like, we are together. This does not include you. Who said that you were invited? Who said we were looking for a participant, my friend? Like,
the audacity.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the audacity.
The audacity. It's like, Jesus, like, dude, like, stay. I just don't understand. I don't, like, you would never go, like, for people who are into polyamory, these people would never go up to any old couple and be like, hey,
No,
you want
you
a
go
threesome?
to socials where you know the same kind of people will be there. You ask them, or if you see someone you like and you hit on them, you're very upfront about it. Obviously, if you know
It's
they're,
a very
you know, in your safe environment.
Yeah, it's a consensual environment. You know that is what they want, and therefore you seek those people out. You do not go up to randos at a club and be like, hey, yo, hey, sexy baby, you want to let me whisper in your ear? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. But I remember, so... Hello, mama, let me whisper in your ear.
Look, I didn't go to queer clubs or gay clubs until I was in my 20s, basically. Early 20s, kind of. And I never knew how much I needed them until I went there.
Girl.
Because, honestly... Obviously, when you first turn 18, when you and your mates first turn 18, you're like, oh my God, yeah, let's go to a club in London. Let's get dressed up real nice. We're going to wear the highest heels. You know, you want to look good. You want to feel good because you're like, oh my God, we're going to have a girls' night. We're going to see what clubbing's all about. It's going to be great. We're going to drink so much. And then you find out that one drink is like £35 and you're like, no.
It's like, I want a vodka lemonade. Okay, that will be $25.99. And I'm like,
You're funny because
and it's a single.
One, I'm
it's
broke.
A single as well. It's not even a double.
It's a single. It's not even a double. Yeah, it's so rude. Anyway, so obviously when you first go, you're like, oh wow, this is great. But straight clubs are very predatory. They obviously, young girls go there because they want to experience going with their friends. They want to go on a night out because we've not had that before. You know, these were places we weren't allowed to get into. But at the end of the day, there are just guys that aren't, number one, respectful. Number two, they don't take no as an answer.
Like, they don't understand no, right? Like, I remember, and I think it's so annoying. Like, I've been to so many clubs in London, I've been out with my mates, and one particular example that will always just, for the life of me, I just don't understand. We went to a club and me and my mate, we were getting drinks, and these two drunk men came up to us and we were like, oh, I'm not here for this, not here for this. You know, we were just like trying to order our drinks.
Yeah, you're just trying to have fun.
Trying to have fun. And these like guys were like, hey, sexy lady. And we were just like, no. So we spoke amongst ourselves and we're like, no, this is my girlfriend. And I immediately butched up. I was like, nah, you want to...
Even though you're forfeit
I'm
nothing.
forfeit nothing, but I it's okay. I'll hit him where it hurts. I'll hit him where I'm right that height level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and these guys were like, "Oh, you're together. You're a lesbian. Okay, we like big fat wet vagina too." And I was like,
"What?"
We both looked at each other. Me and my friend. And we were like,
"Is that supposed to be attractive?
Is that supposed to be enticing?" Like, is that your game? Is that your game? And
really?
They were just like, oh, like grabbing their crotch. And I was like, all right, then
Ew.
we're just going to leave. It was so fucking weird. And I'm just here like, no way would you fucking do that to anyone else.
In any other setting?
Yeah.
Ugh, it's gross. But yeah, and the whole, obviously, when I did start going to queer clubs or gay bars and stuff like that, oh my God, I love it. You know what? If one of my mates is like, oh, I want to go clubbing, right? I'm always like, which one? Which one? Because I know a really good club, right?
Yeah, you want to go to
Heaven.
Heaven.
I've taken, I love Heaven. I love Heaven so much. I had friends from uni come down and stay with me in London one night, and I was like, guys, I know the perfect club. We're going to go Heaven. I've always had a good time. Let's go. And they'd never been. None of them had ever been there. And I was like, okay, just you wait. Even to this day, they will message me and be like, I still remember our time. It was the best night. it was such good fun. And I think the big reason for that is because guys don't hit on you. It's not, it doesn't allow for predatory behavior. Yeah, I remember like one of the first times I went to heaven. I didn't die, don't worry, is the actual name of the club.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that dad joke.
Nah, you gotta love my jokes, innit? So, obviously, first time I went there, I went with some work friends. And at times, I would just wander off because this was when I was single and I was trying to find, some company.
Single and ready to mingle.
Literally. And oh my God, I absolutely loved it. I was going around the whole venue, seeing what it was like. I just saw these girls in a group dancing. Like there's one room that does basically old school tunes, like gay anthems, and the kind you really want to like sing your heart out to. And
yeah.
I was at the bar and they were like looking at me and like dancing with their friends. I got a drink and then they were like, oh, they could see I was at the time by myself, and we just ended up like singing and dancing together. And I didn't even get their names. We were just like singing our hearts out, holding like each other's hands and like screaming in each other's faces, like these songs. And it wasn't,
it's just
and
nice.
then, yeah, that was it. Like we had a good laugh and then I left. I went to go see my other work friends. And it was just really, I don't know. It feels safe. I feel like I don't have to be surrounded by my friends constantly just in case. Because,
yes.
Okay.
That is such a good point because
why, this is a big thing. Why do women go to bathrooms together?
Yeah.
It's for safety.
Or to fuck. In my experience.
Okay. Oh, in your experience, yes. That's fair enough.
It's like, where does that operate? The bathrooms of the clubs.
The bathrooms.
Come meet me in the bathroom. I remember I got so confident in the bathrooms at uni. I was like, that was my territory. I'd be like,
Jesus.
Or like whenever we go out clubbing, I'd always like, and I was living with like these straight ass boys in my first and second year, and they would always like, oh.
And you would always be the one bringing home
and they'd be like,
someone.
she's off again. And then I'd go, and then I'd come back.
Like wiping your face down.
Yeah, I'm like... I just, it's like, it's never it's either one or the other. Either I'm like smooth as fuck, or I'm just this incredibly awkward person when I'm trying to like interact with women. So there's no in between. It's one or the other. But speaking of gay panic.
I've never heard the best like gay panic stories from anyone else.
You know what's funny though? I was trying to explain gay panic to like a gay guy, and he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, what do you mean? Don't you have gay panic? Because I was like, oh, that's such a queer woman thing to do. And he was like, what? But anyways, I was explaining my story, right? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, what? Don't you know what gay panic is? What?
Maybe it's like a queer femme thing.
Maybe. But like, I went out with this girl. And even the lead up to it, like I felt really awkward because like she was a fresher when I was in second year, I think. So I didn't I didn't want to say like it's a date. I was just like, oh, if you want to meet up. And we were having, we were at a pub or whatever. Afterwards, she was kind of like, yeah, so is this a date? And I was kind of like, oh, thank God you said it. And then anyways, as we were like parting ways and we were saying goodbye, I was like, oh, what do I do? And she was kind of like, yeah, so. And I was like, yeah, so. I had fun. She's like, I had fun too. And I'm like, cool. And I was like, she's not coming in. So I'm not going to go in. So I saluted her. I went like, legit right. Just went like little gay salute and walked away. And I saw the back of her head and that was it. Okay. So we obviously talk about coming out to our friends.
Mm-hmm.
What was coming out? Because this is the thing, like we did have in a overview of it, we did have an easy coming out, I would say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In that sense, in the typical sense. And
at a crucial age, when we did come out, it was exactly what we needed.
What we needed at the time.
I'm pretty sure we agree on that.
Yeah. And I think, we had the support network should it not work out at home. So we felt very comfortable in that, right? But saying that.
Okay. No. You go first.
Okay.
What was it like for you? Because there was a period where you were just always coming out to your parents.
Within the same hour, my friend. This is the thing. I feel like this is particularly the case for people who are bi and pan.
Or just
and
queer.
Everything in between. Yeah, just queer. Like everything in between. If you're not gay and if you're not straight, it's not this constant, well, okay, fuck being straight. If you're straight, it's the norm anyways. But if you're not gay or you're not lesbian, it's this constant reaffirmation to people around you that you are still on the spectrum. You are still queer. You are still part of the LGBTQIA
regardless
community.
of who you're dating at the time.
Exactly, right? So my parents are kind of like, they just didn't suspect anything. And I remember when I first came out to my parents, I came out to my dad first. And it was purely because we were shopping in Oxford Circus and it happened to be Pride and I didn't know.
Nah, that was planned.
And then we saw like all these roads were closed. We were just walking around Oxford Circus and all these roads were closed and there were parades going along and my dad was like, what is this? And I was like, I don't know, maybe we should stand and watch. And we were like stood by and like obviously these drag queens were walking by and then you had like these floats about AIDS and I was like, whoa. And my dad was like, what is this? I don't understand. And I could tell he was going to start spewing some homophobic-ish. So I was like, let me just stop you there. I also like girls and boys. And he looked at me, he looked at me dead in the eye. He's like, what do you mean girls and boys? What do you mean girls? And I was like, like I like women, but I also like men. And he was so confused. I was like, what are you talking about? And then like we were like just walked away. And then we were in Clark's and I was like, hey, yo, did you hear what I said? And he was like, what? He was like, that I like girls and I also like boys. And he's like, almost like he purged that earlier conversation from his head. And the whole conversation came back again. And he was like, what do you mean girls and boys? And I was like, really? We're going at it again?
So when I started dating my current partner, who's a man, I remember early on in our relationship.
And very straight.
Yeah, extremely straight. Early on in our relationship, my mum asked me, oh, so you're not interested in women anymore, right? It's like, no, that's very much not the case. My ex, prior to him, was a woman. So, I very much like women. And it was just really funny. She was like, yeah, but you're not. So what are you saying? You're going to cheat on him with a woman? Like, did I?
Who said that?
Did I say this?
Did I say that?
Honestly, it was so funny to me because I just remember thinking this is so utterly ridiculous. But it's just things like that it's comments like that I know they just won't get.
The thing is, it's a weird one because on one side, I appreciate the fact that I know my parents aren't going to disown me and they are going to love me unconditionally. But at the same time, like, I think I'm that, like, for some people, that's enough. That's all they want. But for me, I feel like that is great. But I cannot have you dismiss who I am because this is a part of who I am.
Yeah. That's exactly my sentiment as well because I just can't. It's because why? Okay, number one, why do we even have to come out? Fuck you. I'm already awkward enough as it is. I don't need to have another layer of insecurity, especially obviously when you're a kid as
Who
well, when you're
knows
like a
what you
teenager.
are when you're going to be 16? Like, who fucking knows?
Exactly. Look, maybe you're just curious about something else. Fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So something I see online in the gay community or queer community is this weird hatred. I don't know where it comes from or how it started, but this weird hatred between bisexuality and pansexuality, and how,
Oh my God.
for some reason, because one exists, it somehow invalidates the other.
It's so, you know what? It's, for me, at least this is how I understand it, right? And I could be completely wrong, so I'm open to debate or whatever, but I think people see the term bisexuality, and obviously bi means two. So they assume that it is within this binary of the typical understanding of gender. And because of that, they're like, okay, so you immediately exclude X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
When I was confused as well, because when I started to see pansexuality and I saw a lot of the discourse on like Tumblr or Twitter or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, maybe I am pansexual. But is it bad that I prefer this label of bisexuality and I feel comfortable in it?
I think, so when I found the term pansexuality, I had never heard it before. I think I was 19, I remember this, and I saw it, I read up on it, and immediately, this is it. This is what I resonate with this. This is exactly what I believe my sexuality to be. And for me, I just felt like, at the time anyway, bisexuality, I don't know, like, it wasn't encompassing as pansexuality was. Like, it wasn't resonating with me that much. Like, it's always something I connected with because I always thought that's what I was. But then when I hit 19, I saw this new term I'd never heard before. No one, was speaking about it. I didn't know anyone else who was pan. And I just read up on it. I saw it and I was just like, that was it. Like, immediately, as soon as I heard the word, I was just like, I know this is just more me.
Exactly. And
it's a label that worked for me.
I think that's the key point though, because when you told me, when you were like, hey, I think I might be pan, I didn't immediately turn around and was like, what? You're no longer bi? You're leaving us? Like, there's so much of that. And it's so much like, oh, bi erasure, pan erasure.
It's so disgusting.
And I understand this, like, to a degree, like this territorial, like, feeling or instinct you have. But at the same time,
we're all part of the same community.
We're all part of the same community. And it's really unfortunate that there's so much internal issues and internal problems.
Yeah.
That, we should be standing together in solidarity rather than against one another, because it just makes it easier for people who are homophobes, who are transphobic, who are biphobic, etc.,
yeah,
to just shit on us because they look at us.
It's a way for people. So it's a way for our community to just fight amongst ourselves instead of dealing with the bigger issues.
Exactly.
I mean, hello, capitalism 101.
Yeah.
I mean, get the lower class people or whoever fighting amongst themselves, and they never think about targeting the real problem. And it's just...
It's so...
I'm not saying you can't think about two things at the same time, but it is a bit like, look, we have bigger things to worry about right now.
Yeah, and it's also like... It's so annoying because you see people like that, and like within the bi community and the pan community, there's so much debate and hate between the two, and it's so exhausting as well, because I'll look at that shit, I'll see it come up on my feed all the fucking time, and then I question myself, because then I'm seeing all this rhetoric being pushed about, being like, bi people are transphobic, bi people are X, Y, and Z. But like you and me, we've never had that issue. Like we've been so open and we talk. I don't think I've ever had that conversation with you where I've been like, what do you mean you're not bi anymore? Oh my God, you're leaving us. You're betraying us. It's just never was like that.
No.
It's just always been like, okay, cool. I'm glad that you found something that you're comfortable in.
And we're not trying to invalidate people's insecurities or how they navigate the queer community. It's more about uniting together, because I understand that people might have friendship groups or queer friendship groups that might be toxic and they might not be good. And I totally get that. That can happen. But you also need to look outside of yourself and think, is this really how I want to navigate people in my community? So, let's just put on glitter, cut out some rainbow stuff and, just like hold hands and be gay, let's just be queer.
Yeah, I just think we have such a it does sound really kumbaya right now, but we have such a beautiful thing, like when we were talking about going to the gay clubs and just feeling this sense of community.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's so nice. It's so refreshing. And it's sad that there are these people within the community that are trying to create these binaries when
or
there
just
shouldn't.
Gatekeep.
Stop it with the gatekeeping. We don't need that shit right now.
Yeah, man. Live your own life. Worry about yourself.
Look, I think if you can take anything from this episode is find the people, the circle that like uplift you and make you feel secure. They don't make you question shit. Like, I couldn't have asked for better friends at the time when I came out. That was such a blessing for me. And
seconded.
Right? Like and if you don't, and if you're in a situation where it is potentially harmful for you, just know that there are online communities or people that you can reach out to.
There will always be people willing to have conversations, willing to be inclusive.
Willing to look out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Willing to have your back.
Yeah. It's called a community for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think on that lovely note, really hope you guys had a good time listening to our disaster stories, because that's what they are, in truth. And we just hope you had a good time, had a good day.
Listening to our gay disaster asses.
Oh, the gay panic is really too much.
It's too real.
All right, and with that, we'll see you on the next one, guys.
See you on the next one. Take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Bye.
Really? Bitch.
So let me just...
Does it sound really moist?
The mouth noises are very good, yeah.
If the pussy don't sound like that, I don't want it.